Next on Usala Radio, presenting The Wall, a new show for parents and teenagers navigating through difficult topics. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Edwin Desamore.
This is Edwin Desamore, and you're listening to The Wall, where we witness achievements through life lessons, only on Usla Radio. In the studio today, we have Elijah Dez, and we have Philadelphia's finest and a good friend, John Ramos. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So today's topic introduction, we're going to jump right into this because I don't want to waste any time because I think this is going to get good today. So Elijah, today's introduction, let us have it.
A few weeks ago, we started the discussion of what we have all been using our extra time for during the quarantine. Without the daily 9-to-5 work many of us do, we have found ourselves in different situations, some good, some very bad, some just boring. Today, we are going to continue this discussion with a specific focus on what we actually do when we have a difficulty come up. Then we will build on that discussion by relating this time to how we break our cycles. Remember, the end of the show should be the beginning of your conversations. Don't be afraid to tear down the wall.
Don't be afraid to tear down the wall. And once again, I'll always love to repeat that the end of the show should be the beginning of your conversation. Many times we have parents and folks feeling as though they can't have certain dialogues with their family members or friends or colleagues because it's a touchy topic, but hopefully we could break the ice and keep folks going with it. Keep going with the conversation, and hopefully the seed is planted. Conversations are healthy as long as there's respect. Many folks who do listen to The Wall, usually we have the studio pretty packed, but because of COVID, we kind of spaced it out. But I will say this, that it's okay to disagree. And many times on this show, we have disagreed with each other, and we have fun disagreeing, but we left respecting each other. And this is what we need right now in our country. This is what we need right now in our community, our homes, with our families, because we actually have family members today who don't say one single word to each other because they have different beliefs in what happened there. So this is the reason why we do The Wall, for those news listeners that are listening or those who just tuned in. So welcome. Before we get to the main topic, we like to dibble and dabble on a few things, and then we get into our guests and start to pick their brain on our topic. So we want to thank John once again for joining us and willing to take this on and join us in some of our random questions, what we're about to do right now. All right. First random question. If you could witness any event, past, present, or future, what would you want to see and why? Who is willing to take that on first?
All right, I'll take it on.
Okay.
I mean, it's a tough question. There's so much stuff, just in the past alone that you want to see. But I think I'd want to see, I don't know, back in caveman days, when man first started fire. I just want to see the look on his face.
The expression?
The expression, yeah. When fire was created.
How about the expression when he got burnt?
That too. That too.
Hot.
I think that expression of first, you can kind of play out the rest of history in the first of whatever happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's something I would like to see.
That's pretty interesting, yeah. You're right. When you sit back, wow, once that happened, what was the expression on their face? And then how many times they wanted to toy with it?
Yeah.
Was it fun? Was it something that was terrifying? And then how quickly did they realize this thing burns?
Yeah, it burns, or, how it sustained life, or, how many things they can use it for. I think it's the first, wow factor. This can change my life, So to see that expression on, a caveman who knows nothing but picking berries and running from animals,
Wow.
To see, wow, this is something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting also, now that you said this, I wonder, when we talk about folks disagreeing and people have their own ideas, beliefs, and philosophies, how many people probably said, you know what, let's not play with that? And then how many folks saying, no, maybe we can do something with this. Mm-hmm. Let's figure it out. I wonder what those conversations were like.
Yeah.
You had some folks like, you know what, I saw it. It was terrifying. We don't understand it. We don't know it.
It burnt me.
it burnt me, or I saw you get burnt. Let's leave it alone and let's just keep living life the way we do as hunters and gatherers, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder what that conversation was like, or I wonder if that one person was like, you know what, I'm not going to even sit here and debate with anybody. I'm going to keep playing with this or toying with it until we figure it out.
Yeah. Once the burn factor kicked in, then wow, this hurts. Wow, this is keeping me warm at the same time.
Yeah.
Where did those conversations go? Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was always that thinker in the group saying, no, we could do something with that.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, we could see in the night.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty interesting.
Keep the animals away,
Yeah.
I'm sure as it
If it burnt me, it's going to burn them.
it's the beginning of innovation, That's how innovation starts,
Yeah.
Just a simple, wow, we can use this. What can we use it for? And then it just grows from there.
Well, you can dig deep into something, really think about it. Wow, because everybody think about, oh yeah, fire. Like, no, what was the conversation like? So that's pretty deep. Elijah.
I'd probably go back to seeing what happened to the people on Easter Island. What people don't know is that Easter Island, like, it's in the movies, and it's like just they've been using Easter movies like rabbits, all that. What happened there is they did more information as to where are the statues there, where they come from, all that. It turns out there was bodies in the ground from the statues, and I started looking at it myself, and apparently there's people used to live there, like tribes, and it was like a good amount. It was like all just isolated from the rest of the world, and all of a sudden they disappeared, gone. There was multiple.
So there was habitats on that island.
Yeah, there was.
Where is Easter Island?
I have no idea.
Okay. So we can't catch Uber there, right?
No, it's just in the middle.
Just
It's like
messing
the
around.
middle of the water.
Yeah.
Just some island in the
So-
middle of the water. And what? There's multiple theories as to what happened to the people, but it was they could have, kind of chopped down too many trees to the point where they had no trees, so they couldn't get any food, like no seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Or some people came in boats, gave them diseases. You know what I mean? Like actual
Mm-hmm.
they gave diseases when traded or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just famine, or there was a big drought. What is it called?
Drought.
Drought.
Yeah.
There was multiple things as to what happened to them, but totally not sure. So I'd like to see what happened to them.
Wow.
Interesting.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
How did life just disappear? And you think about it, right? Like, why would you want to know that? But why not? Because why can't we just disappear here?
Oh, you know what? Actually, the airplane crash. What is it called that happened and nobody knows what.
The
happened.
flight that disappeared to this day.
No, it was no. They found the parts of the crash, and not all of them. They just don't know what happened to the airplane. It was recent, not
Yeah,
Nah,
no,
a few
it was
Years
a
ago. Yeah. I think I
an
remember.
Asian airline,
Yeah,
right?
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
It was
Indian
that.
or Asian
Indian.
airline?
It's either. Yeah, I think it's Indian. And it crashed, and it was they don't know what happened, but they were able to find some parts of the airplane, but they never. I'd like to know what probably happened there.
Wow, pretty interesting. Things that make us think, right?
Yeah, things that make you go,
Well, for me, it's a tough pick too. Like you said, it's so much. Like I would love to see what happened from the beginning of time, and if we all were able to see that, right? How would that change things today? How we look at the world, our belief systems, our faith. If we were there to see the beginning, how it all came about, I know there's folks listening right now, and I know there's folks that are watching and going back, I know, listen, what they told you.
Yeah.
What they told you, all right? And, take it with a grain of salt. I have a right to say that, you know what I mean? Just like you have a right to say yours, but at the end of the day, how would that affect?
Well, I think if we all got to see the beginning, no matter what you believe the beginning was, we'd all see the same thing. So we'd all believe the same thing.
Mm.
So there'd be no different beliefs. We'd all be the same pretty much, living the same lifestyle, the same beliefs, the same principles.
But I actually believe, and you could disagree with me if you want, that we live in a society today that you could show them what happened in the beginning, and if they have a certain belief system, they're going to say, I don't believe that. It's not true.
Yeah.
Because in my heart, I believe this is what really happened. Because it went against totally what they've been believing their whole life. I actually believe that we live in a world today where we have folks that will still challenge fact.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So no, but for me, I would just love to be there in the beginning, and if I had another option, will be the pyramids, because folks don't know how the pyramids were made.
That's
They
my
still
number
trying to
two.
figure this out. You know, I was just reading an article the other day. I just shared an article with my sons about because you know we're dorks like that. You know, we send stuff around about. Was there alien involvement because of the technology and how Easter Island and the pyramids and all these things played a big part of these landmarks that you could see from outer space? Was there any type of alien
I know what show
Absolutely.
you watch.
involvement? Huh?
I know what show you watch.
You know, we're big geeks on that because we did
Yeah.
a segment one time following what was that, the area what? Remember they were supposed to do the raid?
Yeah,
Area 51.
I think that I think there definitely has to be alien involvement, because if you want to look past, well, if you really want to look at some things, I was thinking, how is this tribe going to come out of nowhere on one island, isolated from the world? Like, don't you have to get there? Like, you just can't be there.
Mm.
And at the same time, I'm looking at it as there was only bacterium on the earth before everything else started. There was no oxygen at all but it was like, the bacterium was like plants. It did photosynthesis until they was all generated oxygen all around the world, right? Then the bacterium evolved from there, therefore turned into plants, animals, evolving, boom, 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 boom. At the same time, dinosaurs were made, but they were wiped out. Wiped out, right? So what started life? I feel like we have so much unexplored that we could be kind of a seed to a new generation.
Wow.
I feel like, what if there could be humans, there could be aliens that modified us somewhere around, came here, they put us here, they gave us probably the tools we needed, they gave us they probably just kind of like we're test subjects.
Because look at the Mayans.
examples.
They knew math. They knew
Yeah.
astronomy. They knew the stars. They
They
counted
gave
everything.
us probably the starting tools. Like, who knew? Like, they just
Yeah.
dropped us down here like a little tough subject and see what happens. Watch this little place grow.
Well, you ever think like you watch some movies growing up, and you think, that'll never happen, and then all of a sudden in the future, now we're where we're at now,
Yeah,
and that stuff's happening.
yeah.
So it goes to think,
TV shows, movies, and
how
you
do we
know.
know it's not us in the future, and we found a way to come back to
Mhm.
help change, the design. Who knows?
There's so much unexplored. It's crazy
Yeah.
because we know there's different galaxies.
Yeah.
We haven't explored every planet.
Yeah, the pyramids were my number 2. I just want to know how they made them precision cuts
Mm-hmm.
to build the pyramids.
Mhm.
The massive stones and the precision to be able to build them and put them together. You had to cut those stones somehow.
Yeah.
And what technology did they have back then
Yeah.
to cut?
Yeah, because they're trying to figure out even how they lifted
Yeah.
those things and how they came up with the technology to do that.
You also know what? We like just so much unexplored. We know there's more galaxies, but we haven't been in the other ones. What if it's just like parallel dimensions of the galaxies? We know that we're in a universe. There's probably a multiverse, like that Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah.
And then we know there's a black hole,
Yeah.
and it's growing and it's sucking everything in. We don't know what happens when you go in the black hole.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting because right now I know that the messages will come in, the inboxes will come in because right now what you're listening to is free thinkers, right? People who think. There's nothing wrong with thinking, and a lot of times what I'm saying is like the messages I do get and I'll put it out there, and I do respond kindly. Like folks kind of get upset when we talk like this because it goes against everything they believe. Why can't you look at things different and still have faith? Why can't you look at things different and still believe in God? But I've been attacked in many ways where people are like, well, what are you guys talking about? You shouldn't be talking about these things.
And it's just a conversation we're having.
It's just a conversation.
What if?
What if? We do. I do know a few people who don't believe in dinosaurs. You could dig up all the bones and put it all together right in front of someone, and they'll tell you it's a hoax. It was put there, because dinosaurs were not mentioned in the Bible. So just because they were not mentioned doesn't mean they didn't exist. So, and it is a good reason, people say, why are you guys talking about this on the show? Because guess what? It's a practice. It gets us into being able to talk about other things.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is why I try to tell folks at home, if you don't know how to talk to your children, if you don't know how to have family conversations, get into other conversations. So when you're able to disagree and laugh at each other and say, then you can start getting into other topics that affect your family, affect your community, affect everything else. These are some of the things we like to talk about. So this is what we picked. And if you're at home, what is it that you want to see? And tell your family members or tell your coworkers. Talk to somebody and have that discussion. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we're going to come back with the weekly update. That's next on The Wall. This is Edwin Desmore. You listen to The Wall, where we witness achievements to life lessons. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. It's going to get good.
I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. And even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, Maria, and she convinced me to continue my education. Just never judges. She's a true role model.
From the depths of my heart, I thank you, Maria, for being a friend and a beautiful person. No one receives a diploma alone, and I'm honored to share this moment with you. Thank you.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back, everybody. Just came back from a break. This is Edwin Desmore, where you listen to The Wall, where we witness achievements through life lessons. What's next up on The Wall? Weekly update. Here it is. Recently, an assistant principal for a high school in Staten Island shared a Facebook post on her personal account about the idea of privilege. Some of her comments included, privilege is wearing $300 Beats headphones while living in public assistance. Privilege is having a smartphone with a data plan that you pay no bill for. Privilege is wearing $200 sneakers when you've never had a job. Privilege is living in public subsidized housing where you don't have a water bill, where rising property taxes and rents and energy costs have where energy costs have absolutely no effect on the amount of food you could put on your table. Privilege is having as many children as you want, regardless of your employment status, and be able to send off to school or daycare when you don't have to pay for anything. So, a concerned parent saw this post, reported the teacher, and started a petition to have her removed from her job. Now the woman is being investigated by the New York State Department of Education. Here's the question. Do you think this woman crossed the line, why or why not, right? And do you believe the reaction of her comments will be the same if the protests were not happening right now? Why or why not? Now, you don't have to answer this. I always tell guests, but you're free to jump in here and give your thoughts on this. So, Elijah, you want to give this a shot?
Sure. First of all, I think it's kind of dumb that they kind of want to fire her. I feel like a lot of people are probably gonna ask me, like, yeah, let's fire her. At the same time, she was sharing her opinion, just like how everybody else got their own opinions. Yeah, I don't see how her opinion or her words affected anybody else in any way, or affected the school that she works in, or affected the students that she teaches, or affected anything to do with the education system. So I don't see the reason why she has to get punished, or the reason why she's getting fired, or the reason she's getting investigated. Because at the same time, her opinions could be unreasonable. I see why people could be a little mad about it. I can see why people could be, upset with what she said. But at the same time, I don't see why you trying to take away her job where she's getting paid to live in her life, just like the same thing you're doing. So let's say, so it's this kind of not the same thing. People are gonna say it's not the same thing, but so you're gonna say chocolate's it's the best flavored ice cream, and someone's gonna be like, I don't like that. Let's get you fired from where you work at. It's somebody's opinion. Did it affect you though? I'm saying, like, did it affect that? Let's say yours. I mean, yeah, you don't like that person's opinion, and your son may go, or your daughter could go to that school, and you don't like what is happening there. But at the same time, if I'm being totally honest, how does that affect your child's education, or their job, or where they work? That doesn't have. So that's, first of all, that's the dumbest. That's really the dumbest thing you did. Is just trying to get them fired for their opinion. Everybody has their opinion.
And reading this, she's a teacher. No, she's a principal. So she's in
Exactly.
charge of education. So I'm gonna get my thoughts on that in a minute. John, you want to jump in here for a little bit? Give your thoughts on it, or
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I totally agree with with Elijah. It's her opinion. If it doesn't affect you personally, if it doesn't affect what you're doing, it doesn't affect her teaching ability, or like you said, she's an assistant principal, doesn't affect her ability to do her job correctly, then why are you targeting people for their opinion? If everyone has an opinion, whose opinion is right? None, because they're just opinions. I look at it as, look at her comments, and what's the truth about it? I mean, there's some truth in this. There's some discussions. We can get deep with just these comments.
now now do you think race plays a part of this? Because if it's coming from does it make a difference who that message is coming from?
No, I mean,
They didn't mention her race,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
this could be an African American woman.
Or Spanish?
Yeah,
So,
we
yeah.
don't know.
I
It
don't-
didn't mention it.
I have no. It doesn't even have her name. It doesn't have anything. So I'm just reading assistant principal. I don't know who it is, and she's saying on public assistance, there's every race on public assistance.
Yeah.
So it can be anybody. But there's some truth to it.
But she's not targeting race either.
No,
Okay.
no.
But she was okay. If folks want to throw privilege out there, right? Which we know that there's privilege out there for many folks, but then folks want to throw it right back. Well, you have some also.
I believe the privilege is not wearing the $300 Beat headphones, but the privilege is being able to. That's what's going on here. Privilege is having a smartphone with data plan that you pay no bill for, but the real thing is the privilege of being able to have a cell phone with a data plan that you are not paying for.
Okay.
I feel like she is discussing something that she has a problem personally with. I feel like that maybe this person grew up apart, and really looking at, she could have grown up this same how she's making these comments, but at the same time, I feel like there's something personally that she has the problem with about her. She could have grew up with not the $300 Beat headphones, or the smartphone without a data plan or whatever. You know what I mean?
Or maybe even now where she works and she makes a good living, but she can't afford get $300 Beat headphones or $200 sneakers. So maybe she feels some type of way, like I'm busting my butt. And I'm
I do.
working, but
I feel some type of way sometimes. I know where I started at. I know where I'm at, but I know what I've been through, and I know how hard I worked to be able to achieve or do certain things. So I do feel some type of way because there's certain things I can't afford. And I'll turn around and, not to say I'm not even going to target anybody else. I'll target certain family and friends. Personally, I'll put it out there. Sometimes I'm like, wow, you never worked once a day in your life, and you got what I've been trying to save for or what I can't afford. But at the same time, I'm someone who complains when I get my check and I look at my taxes being taken out. I'm like, good gracious, right? And this is just me. This is me being able to put that out there that, but there's a thin line how folks could use that to degrade someone. I can understand that, where you have to be like, hold on, are you just trying to put things out there to bring awareness? Because you never know, she might be trying to bring awareness as far as like priorities. What are your priorities? What are you doing with some of the privilege that is given to you?
Yeah, exactly. Why not take advantage of what's given to you to better your situation?
Yes.
Rather than blowing money on stuff that really shouldn't be blowing money if you're in that category.
Yeah.
So now if you're on public assistance, why are you spending $1,000 on a smartphone when you can make a call or whatever, or you can get a free phone, whatever they have, and put that money towards taking a course on something, or some books, or learning how to invest that to get out of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, I feel like that's what this message is. You're as an assistant, being in education, we want to teach our kids simple money management and personal growth and things like that.
Why not hear from someone who's in charge of education?
Yeah.
Why not? You could add your comments. You could post. Leave your comments. I will respond to you. But at the same time, are we showing our younger generation how to prioritize? Because we want to get into some. This is leading up to our discussion. This is leading up to what we're going to talk about, because we're going to talk about, okay, folks got the stimulus check. I've seen it all over Facebook, right? And folks are waiting for the second. How many have used that check to build? Or maybe, take care of bills or whatever it is. Or how many folks just went out and brought those beats? Which one did you do with it? We're going to talk about what have you done with your time, because time is money. Time is privilege. We're privileged to be on this earth. We're privileged to be breathing right now.
Yes, that's the privilege.
That's the privilege right now.
What I think is, let's say you're a teacher or something. I feel like that everybody has the right to share their opinion, and I feel like it is totally dumb that some people lose their jobs for their opinion, their opinion. I think that somebody should lose their job if their opinion affects how they work or who they work with or who they're working for. I feel like that's a good reason for them to get fired. But I feel like there's a lot of dumb reasons where people get fired because that thing doesn't affect anything that they say or do, and it's really dumb because I feel like if you're a teacher, try your best not to get into something controversial where people will disagree with you, because as long as it's not affecting you, there's so much things happen where something negative can happen to you if it's like a totally positive cause.
That's why we tell certain guests that we have, I say you don't have to answer, because I know certain folks' occupation and what they do. And I do understand that in the show we touch up on topics, but I do that certain folks that hold certain, jobs or careers, that whatever they say, folks are going to take it out of context or just take it and run with it, and abuse that, like, well, this person's supposed to be here.
Oh, yeah, if they can use it to their advantage, they're going to take advantage of that opportunity.
Use it to their advantage, yeah. And you got to look at that, too, like, if someone is calling out, like they said, matter of fact, I've just read here, it said now the woman is being investigated by the New York State Department of Education, right? All right. Here's my question. While they're investigating her, has anybody investigated the parent of why they put this petition together? Is there something personal between them? I'm not saying there is. But then again, there's some things like, well, I'm waiting any minute. Because what if there was a disagreement down the line? What if there was a... I work in the educational setting.
There's probably things
As a
trying to get
dean,
to the
where
school.
I'm trying to get kids to another level, and there's been times where I disagree with parents and they don't like it, where I'm trying to help mold and educate and get your kid to the next level. And if we have a disagreement and you don't like the way I've done things, you're going to wait for any opportunity to attack me.
Well, there's more opportunity too if you go a little deeper into that. I mean, something like this, she might be social media famous right now just because she started that position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's benefits along the
Yeah.
lines of different avenues.
Oh, we got to be mindful too.
Yeah.
Like I was just talking about this with someone the other day. I was like, when I look at certain social media posts and certain news events, what things that are put out there, man, we got some folks that I know personally. They just ready to protest for anything. Like I'm like, dang, you protested for that too? And I always thought like, if you could tell this person, yo, they are taking advantage of they're killing rats down the street. They're gonna be out there, stop killing the rats. You know what I mean? Like some folks, it's kind of like, what is your real agenda? Do you know what you're fighting for? You know what I'm saying? What is the method behind everything? Do you just want to jump on someone's wave? Or
my personal opinion, this is opinion, is that's what I see out of it. I see a lot of people just jumping on
on the
board,
bandwagon,
just
wave.
jumping on the bandwagon and going with it.
Yeah, because
Like there is a cause.
even when here,
There's
people
a
get mad at
message.
me for this, but you still listen, right? My whole thing is, for example, I mentioned this morning. I'm irritated with social media a little bit, right? Because everybody's an advocate and everybody's protesting through social media.
It's easy.
It's easy, but what trips me out is that now all of a sudden, folks are like, I support this and I support that. Now, I'm gonna put this out there, and I'm gonna ask some of you guys to challenge someone next to you that you know personally. They're constantly posting political memes and stuff like that. I guarantee you the majority of the folks that are posting this stuff can't even tell you the last 2 judges that were brought in, can't even tell you who the Senate Majority Leader is, can't even tell you, name 3 or 4 folks that are in Congress, can't even tell you their own state rep, can't even tell you their own, what is the district they live in. I guarantee you those folks that are just going social media crazy because they're joining the wave. Who we hate now? Or what are we against now? Yes, and let's put it out there. But I guarantee you, try it, then get back to us. Let us know what I'm telling you that these folks are not politically savvy. So you join in, before you put yourself out there, know what you're talking about. And before we get into the philosophical discussion here and get into a quick commercial break, I just want to say this. An event happened, a protest happened a few days ago. Me and my brother Eric Desmore, Pastor Eric Desmore, were asked to come out. We didn't go. We had our reasons. We didn't go. First of all, we understood, because we do our research, right? Why you want us out there? Who's out there? Who's going to politically gain from this? And and what is the real intention? So I was like, you know what? And plus, I didn't have the time. Even if I wanted to, I didn't have the time to get out there. So I get a call from an individual. Says, no, not for nothing, man. I respect you, Ed, but people were saying, where was you and your brother? My response was like, first of all, and I throw F-bombs out there, what the F was everybody these past 15 years when we was in these streets grinding and getting the work in? Because I didn't show up somewhere for an hour or 2 for a photo op and for y'all to talk smack. All of a sudden, y'all took away from all the work that we have and continuously put in. Where were those folks when we were asking to be part of youth law enforcement forums that didn't show up, to be part of community engagement, to be part of the list goes on.
Yeah.
The list goes on. So where were you all these years, but we didn't show up to one event? Now, I know folks are upset about the opioid epidemic, what's going on, and it's disgusting. It is. It's disgusting when you drive down the streets. But if you really want to make change, you want to see me and my brother out there, organize something. Let's get out there and just stay out there every day until they move them. Let's do it like the young people do.
Yeah.
Let's shut it down. Let's stop the L from moving. Let's stop the subway from moving. Let's stop. Let's lock down K&A and say, you know what, we're not moving until you remove these folks, because y'all went out there for 2 hours And the next day, I still seen the addicts out there. Y'all were gone. Y'all took y'all pictures. Y'all made y'all statement. But they still there. They won. See, their protest is, I'm staying here. I'm living here. I got a right to get high here, even though I'm not from this community. I got a right to throw my needle there. I got a right to throw my trash on the floor. This is our protest because, we're suffering. So guess what? And your kids have to live with it. Your kids in your community have to live with this trash. Your kids in this community have to live and deal with me sitting here. Because before we go to this commercial breaks, I know I'm going on a tangent with this, but it just touched a little soft spot for me. DHS, Child Services, for those in other states that are listening. When they go into a home and they see that the home is unfit for a child, they remove that child right away. And sometimes folks are prosecuted. This community, when you go down Allegheny, not the home, the community is not fit for a child. So are you going to remove the children from the community, put them in a safer neighborhood, or you going to remove the problem? Because that is a health hazard right now. Not just with COVID, but everything else, that disease that come with that filth. But meanwhile, we got too many folks that want to come down there and keep feeding folks and taking pictures. Keep giving out clothes and taking pictures. Bringing out showers and taking pictures. Giving them haircuts and taking pictures. But meanwhile, there are many folks that are having grassroots after-school programs, trying to feed kids that can't find funding, trying to clothe children. No one's coming out because you know what? You don't see that. But people get condemned for not showing up for something or saying a certain thing. We have to be careful who we following and what people are saying. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and we're going to jump into philosophical discussions. This is Edwin Desmond. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm sure we needed a break. I went on a tangent, but willing to discuss it. So send your comments, send your concerns, send your complaints and your thoughts. And I'm willing to have that discussion. We're willing to have that discussion and not argue. It's just a feeling. And it's just my emotions on it and just the way I feel. I think I have a right to feel that way. The same way folks have a right to feel the way they do about certain things. Philosophical discussions. John, you're more than welcome to join us for this before we get into the main topic. In some degree of is there some degree of censorship necessary? Why or why not? Is some degree of censorship necessary? Why or why not? Should folks be censored? Is there some type of degree where folks should not be able to speak? Censorship is shutting down certain things. Like, no, you can't say this and you can't say that. Is some degree of censorship necessary? Why or why not?
Are we going on it?
Yep.
I think they're with this topic, it goes on a lot of different branches. But if you're just talking about freedom of speech, like us having a conversation, then no, there shouldn't be censorship. I should be able to say how I feel or my opinion, as long as it's not, causing anyone any harm. So I think there's a fine line on that question. I think there should be certain censorships as far as, man, it's tough to explain. It's a thin line for censorship. Anyone should be able to say how they feel, what they're thinking, without a problem.
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, yeah. You should be able to have a conversation about anything. So nah, I think censorship.
Are we losing it? Are we in danger of losing it, or?
Yes. We are, because it seems like we're being pushed to be one way. And if anyone has a different mindset or a different way of thinking, a different way of life, then it's challenged and they want to be censored. Oh, you're not allowed to tell me how you feel because it makes me feel some type of way because I feel different. So I think there's a barrier like with feelings. You know, if you hurt my feelings, you can't say that. You know, or you know, if I live a certain lifestyle and you speak against that lifestyle, then you shouldn't be able to say it. So in other words, it's only one way but not another.
Mm.
You know, like you can say something but I can't. You know, because I'm thinking different, or because you have a different mentality, or vice versa. You know, I'm telling you, now you can't talk about that subject because that's, you know, that I don't feel that same way.
Yeah.
You know, it goes back to the dinosaurs. You know, if you don't believe there's dinosaurs and I believe there was dinosaurs, you can't tell me not to talk about dinosaurs.
And we shouldn't go to war over that.
Exactly, we shouldn't. We should just have a discussion, laugh about it, maybe throw a couple F-bombs here and there, hug, and then on to the next subject.
He tried to tell me T-Rex's arm not real. F. John.
He said my arms are T-Rex arms. You know,
Yeah,
I don't like dinosaurs anymore.
Yeah.
You can't talk about dinosaurs. You know, it's just...
I hope they found a bone in his house.
I also wanted to talk about how there's a lot of things about, since now and there's a lot of movements now and how a lot of people have actually opened their eyes to it. I feel like there's a lot of companies that have really been all of a sudden supporting all this and really been shutting some things down in their that they had problems with in their companies or certain places or certain school systems. I feel like really I don't understand why y'all still supporting these kind of companies, because all of a sudden now they're doing it. Now, after all the years and chances that they had to doing it now, they're only doing it now because most of the country is up and ready, because they know most of the country could shut them down now. I don't understand why y'all focusing on them now, because they had how many years to fix this? They had how many years to promote this? They had how many years? What happened to that one family when it was only one family that wasn't all on social media, where they didn't have a bunch of followers behind them, that when their complaint was up, but nobody ain't doing anything? All of a sudden, it took millions of posts on Instagram, millions of reposts, shares by that. Then it took protests outside, right? It took celebrities to say something, right? It actually we needed a big wave of people to do something for that to happen. I don't understand why I couldn't just take that one complaint, that one, you know, like just looking at it, be like, you know what, we should do something. But it had to take something that could actually critically hurt you and cause you pain, or it caused your company pain, or a defect from it.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why y'all still support something like that, because it's basically just...
I agree.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when you have just one complaint, it's easy to ignore one person. You know, so sometimes movements they're needed. You know, sometimes movements benefit to get things done.
You see one fly, it's not a problem, but you see a bunch of flies.
Now you're like, oh, well, we got a problem. We got to get these flies out of here.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes it's necessary. I just feel like the mission is lost and people are just going with the waves instead of fighting the movement for what's needed to be fought. You know, like you said, the companies, if you think about, like Goya, now they want to boycott Goya.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a Latino company that puts a lot into the inner city, into the neighborhood. You want to boycott them. So what's going to happen? You boycott them, their numbers go down, their sales go down, their productivity goes down, jobs are lost.
Yeah.
So you got to pick the right fights.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that you say that because, to touch up on that a little bit, is that, for me personally, I'll tell folks, I'm not Democrat or Republican. You know, I like to vote wisely. I like to vote it the best way I can, and the best way I'm allowed to vote. That's something that I feel as though that will do best for my country, my community, my children. So I'm not an extremist on either, because I believe, and this is me talking, I believe both sides are bull crap. That too far to the right is dangerous, too far to the left is dangerous. And there's both sides don't really want to give room to free thinkers.
So you're a floater. You float.
And folks take advantage of that. I know beautiful people on both sides. What I mean by that is like Democrat and Republican. Like, I know some great people, right? This is where it gets kind of like touchy, because a good friend of mine, and he's been on the show I think twice, Chuck Diesel, and Chuck did boxer promotion, started a gym. Chuck is a successful businessman solo. A lot of people didn't know his history. Chuck came from Mount Kensington. He lost the majority of his family to heroin and opioid drug abuse. Like, his brothers were found dead, OD'd in the lot, worms coming out. He's been through it himself, but he worked hard and built something for himself, and then decided to come back and give back. And he opened up a gym, and I watched this man personally take the shirt off his back to help people in the streets. He's white, right? Irish. I watched him love on Black, Spanish, and encourage them. Come on out. Come to the gym. I'm going to pay your dues. I watched him when he couldn't get funding. Keep that gym open under his own pockets. Literally, under his own pockets. I watched him stay up late with the gym when he's tired from running his company, coming in and still making sure that kids had a place to be, because he didn't want them in the streets. Watched him walk around in the neighborhoods trying to get addicts off the streets and get them to a place to better them. Watch him go to, I invited him to support some of these students who nobody in the community wanted to support. And I said, hey, this kid went to the next level. He's done this. His grades are like this. What can I do? He gave this kid a belt who wasn't even a boxer. Called him a champion for all his efforts. Went out, gave it to him. Gift certificates. Free membership to the gym. This young man didn't really have a relationship with his father. Chuck was offering him and his father to come and work out together. Chuck has way different political beliefs than I do. Way different. I disagree just about almost everything with him. But I love Chuck, and I know where his heart is at. But I can see how someone could come along and be like, you're friends with him? Or boycott him or boycott his gym, not knowing what he's done for this community and what he continues to do. If it makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I said, sometimes we got to be careful with that, because I could see how someone could do that to him because of his political beliefs, but I know how much he does for people, right? More than the people who are quick to bash him. Because the people who are quick to bash him and want to boycott, if they ever want to do that, they don't do anything. There's a lot of folks that I know that do not help or contribute, do anything for their community, but you're quick to be like, what are we doing? Is this the person? So I'm not, folks have a right to boycott Goya if they want to. Then folks got a right to still support Goya, right?
Yeah, but you know damn well that
nobody
gonna stop them.
Yeah,
especially
you're gonna have a lot of people on the download like
posting memes.
But
they
mean,
still in cousin.
You're not gonna go in the restaurant and be like, yo, is there Goya on this? You better take it out. No, what I'm saying is that folks should have a right to feel the way they feel. But the thing is, if you're protesting, why are you protesting? Or if you're boycotting something, do your research first. That's why I challenge people. Do your research. Do your research. And I think that's people are lazy. The easy way out is like, what did they say? You understand where I'm coming from? So willing to discuss that. I know this is going to be another topic.
People think with their emotions first, right? And there's agendas, right? Everyone has an agenda, right? Every person has their own personal agenda, no matter what it is. But people have agendas that know how to play on people's emotions, right? And people act on emotions. So it's like you said, just do a little research first. Just do a little homework. No matter how you think, doesn't matter which way, left, right, up, down, circle, whatever. Just before you act, just do a little research and say, all right, what's our mission? What's the cause? What are we fighting for? Is this the right way of fighting it? Is this the right way of doing it? You know what I mean? And come up with a plan and stick to the plan. And then don't let anybody take it over. Don't let anybody hijack it.
When I know it's going to sound a little bit sidetracked here. If we teach our kids to think like that, we could avoid gangs. Our kids are like, why should I join this gang? Because your kid is going to be like, well, what's this gang about? What is this group about?
Yeah.
You want me to sell drugs? Why?
But that's what it comes down to. It comes down to just a little bit of education on how to just think for yourself. Don't let people tell you how to think, right? Like here in Philly, you see most people say, oh, no, I only vote this way because this is what we're supposed to do. Well, who told you that? Like, how do you know? And if you constantly do that, what's the incentive for your local politicians to do anything for you if they know you're going to vote for them anyway? Like, what are you going to get out of it? You know what I'm saying? So if we start teaching our kids, which comes back to the weekly update, just a different way of thinking. Listen, just some basic money management. I know some parents, they want to buy their kids them $200 sneakers or them $300 beat to keep them off the street. But what happens the month that you can't afford them sneakers or that phone or them beats? They're going to run to the street anyway. Because now you just created something, a learned behavior in them that they need the newest sneaks. If they don't have the newest sneaks, now they're losing their friends or they're losing their clout, or so they think, I'm going to lose my reputation because I don't got the fresh Jordans like I always do.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do? They're going to run in the streets anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to try to find a way to do it. So, I mean, there's so...
But also the message is wrong, because do you want the beats because they really sound good, or because they're beats and you want people to know that you have them?
Exactly.
It's about you.
I like Under Armour, right? I like Under Armour. That's I like that line. You think I order from Under Armour? I go to Under Armour, and no, I go to the outlets. I go to the clearance section. Boom, I'm right in there. What's on clearance? What you got? Yeah, I like that T-shirt. Take that. Well, how much off? Oh, you get a discount? Okay, because I manage my money properly. I don't wait. Like, I like some name brand stuff. Now sneakers, same thing. I like comfort on my feet, but I'm not paying $200 for a pair of sneakers just because they got a certain logo on them.
You got that right. That's me.
I won't do it for my kids.
We spoke about this. I love fedoras. But if you do the research, how it's made, how it's felt, what the material comes from, you love the fit, right? That's just me. That's what I'm saying. So it's not just about I'm getting a certain brand. But if a certain brand makes what I like the way I like it, and I budget or make connections or network in a certain way where I'm able to get them, I'm going to get it, but I'm going to make my way to get it. But that hat doesn't make who I am.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because I'm going to be all right without, because I wear a $5 hat. This is an Old Navy hat. See, I got no problem wearing an Old Navy hat. We live in a society today, kids are like, I'm not going outside if I can't have $200 sneakers.
Exactly.
They're going to laugh at me. This is an Old Navy hat I got on sale for $4.99.
Does the same job as a hat that you pay $1,000.
Someone once said they went in the mall and they looked in the mirror. I mean, a jewelry shop. There was a watch there for like $40,000, right? He said, I looked at my watch and that watch, and they both said the same time.
Exactly.
So,
I once listened to a lady. She said, I wear two watches. I wear a Rolex and I wear a Timex. And she said, the Timex tells me what time it is. The Rolex just shows me who my friends are.
Well, at this point, we all face great difficulties and we all handle them differently. What are some things you do to get to get ourselves out of a bad situation like poverty or anything difficult we have faced in quarantine, right? This is what we're talking about. What did we do with this little break? Because a lot of us got a break from work, from school. And this is for kids and this is for adults also. What did we do? And it's not just about building a business and everything else, because there's some people like, you know what, they've been for years, I want to lose weight. And all of a sudden you got all this time to lose weight. Did you do it?
I don't have time.
Did you go on? Yeah, because everybody said, I don't have time to do this. I don't have the time to do that. Well, all this time, did you really take advantage of that time and the hustle and bustle to do what you got to do? What have you been doing to stay afloat, to stay relevant, to be branded, to help yourself, mold yourself, or study? It doesn't even have to be about physical. It'd be like, you know what, I had a chance to go take online courses, or I had a chance to do this. What did folks do? So the big thought here, poverty is defined as the state of being inferior in quality or insufficient in amount, right? So that means the quality of the of things like house, cars, is lower than someone not in poverty, right? The amount of things you need, food, money, is not enough, right? Question to ask here, is poverty a state of mind? Meaning, if I believe I could change this, then I will change it. Is poverty a state of mind?
It's probably a state of mind.
Yeah.
I feel like it adjusts to the mind. You feel me?
Like people are poor. Are you wanted to stay this way, or do you believe you could achieve?
Oh, it depends on how. Like I feel like their environment or their energy. Cause you could I believe that you could live in poverty, and if you have positive energy, you believe in yourself, and you believe that you could get to a better place, and you believe that you could get to a better. You just believe that you could benefit yourself. But I feel like if you're in that bad type of energy from your environment, being a bad environment, you know what I mean? Just like kind of there's people who get bad start offs and feel like I'm never gonna make it out of here, or I'm never gonna, because of how they get treated, or but there's people who could start off the worst, start off playing with nothing, and yet they know that they're gonna get to a better place. They know that they are gonna be better than whoever they know that they can make a living off of whatever. I feel like it's just like it depends on the environment.
So now it's how
their
they're
energy.
treated or what they're told in their environment. See, because
It's both.
most
Really.
kids are told in their environment, oh, you come from this neighborhood, then that's what you're
It's a
going to fall
mindset
to.
that's planted.
All on mindset.
Yeah. So
nothing's you're not born with anything. You're not born with racism. You're not born anything. It's adjusted to, it's learned to by the environment. It's given to you.
So real
It's
quick,
passed
before we
down
run
to
out
you.
of time, what do we got to do to change that? If you can, in 30 seconds, what can we do to change that?
It's simple education. It's changing your vocabulary, changing your words, how you speak to the kids, what you tell them, and trying to bring up the next generation to think freely.
What about an adult, John? Like an
So as
adult
an-
who feels as though I'm an adult already, I haven't done nothing, I'm
Make
stuck
a
here.
decision. If you're an adult, you're old enough to take responsibility for your kids or your grandkids. Doesn't matter what stage in life you are. Pick up a book. You know, a book that I recommend, Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's very basic. It's
Great
not what
book.
it sounds like, but it's a very basic, and it'll change your concept of thinking.
And if you don't like reading, there's video,
if-
right?
Yeah, if there's video or there's audio. If you don't like
Yeah.
reading, there's audio books, there's video books. You know, whatever. Just make the decision to change your generations that are coming.
Can someone make a mistake and still change
Absolutely. Mistakes, you learn from your mistakes
and overcome?
and overcome. That's it. Once you make a mistake, that's a lesson. Now, if you keep making that mistake, then you need to make a change.
You need to make a change
You know, like
because you're
Einstein
using
said,
the same mindset.
Mindset.
Elijah, what would you say to a kid who's sitting around who have dreams and not doing anything?
I feel like you're able to do anything, really. You honestly have the ability to do anything. It's just you can't do it in an instant. You can't do it just. Sometimes you can't always do it on your own, but at the same time, it starts at you. You may not be able to do everything on your own, but at the same time, what you plan to do, what you're gonna do, it starts at you. So at the same time, you're not able to do everything by yourself, but you are starting to do everything by yourself.
John, I want to thank you so much, man, for joining us today. I know if we run out of time when it starts to get good. I'm going to invite you back if you don't mind, man. Hopefully, whenever you have time, so we
Whatever
can
you
finish
need.
some of this discussion,
Absolutely. Yeah, we'd love to keep going.
Thank you, Elijah, for your young thoughts. Folks, I'm going to end this with my favorite writer, Ernest Hemingway. The world breaks everyone, and afterward, some are strong at the broken places. We'll leave it at that. This is Edwin Desmore. You listen to The Wall today, where we witness achievements through life lessons. Only on USLA Radio. Have a great week, everybody. Start thinking. Finish the conversation.
Sorry, what was that?